anyone ever touched it, people were already changing. Because the forbidden fruit does not begin its work when it is eaten. It begins when it is noticed. When the mind becomes aware that something exists, which should not. And from that moment forward, the fear is planted and it grows quietly, slowly, patiently, just like the tree itself. The first people who found the tree said it felt wrong to look at it for too long, not because it was ugly, but because it felt like it was looking back, not with eyes, but with memory, as if it remembered every human mistake that ever happened and was waiting for the right moment to remind the world. The fruit hung low on the branches, heavy and dark, its skin smooth but uneven, pulsing faintly like a weak heartbeat. And the longer you stood near it, the more you felt a strange pressure inside your head. Not pain, but awareness, the kind that makes you suddenly remember things you never lived, moments of fear, hunger, betrayal, and violence that did not belong to you but felt deeply personal. People reported feeling exposed, like the fruit could see through their thoughts, like it knew their secrets, their regrets, their hidden anger. And the tree reacted to those feelings, leaning slightly toward whoever felt the weakest. Cameras recorded small changes at first, hands shaking, breathing slowing down, eyes staying open too long without blinking, voices dropping into whispers even when there was no reason to whisper. One woman stood close to the tree and suddenly began crying, not loudly, but silently, tears running down her face as she said she felt seen for the first time in her life. And that was when the others realized the fruit was not calling to hunger. It was calling to emptiness. The forbidden fruit does not tempt the strong. It tempts the broken. When the first bite happened, it did not look dramatic. There was no immediate explosion, no lightning, no loud sound, just a quiet crunch. And then a long pause where the man stood perfectly still, eyes wide, mouth slowly closing as if he was tasting something far more than flavor. He said it was sweet, but not like sugar, sweet like relief, sweet like finally understanding why pain exists. And as he spoke, his voice changed, becoming calmer, colder, almost peaceful. And that was when the others felt fear, because peace should not come that easily. Seconds later, his thoughts began spilling out of his mouth without permission. Dark thoughts, violent thoughts, thoughts he claimed were not his, but had always lived inside him. And the fruit had simply removed the lock. His smile grew wider as he spoke about how fragile people really are, how rules are lies, how kindness is weakness, how the world has always belonged to those willing to take. His body began reacting next, muscles tightening, veins darkening, his breathing deep and slow like a predator settling into focus. When someone tried to stop him, he reacted without hesitation, striking with a strength that felt unnatural, not angry, not emotional, just efficient, as if empathy had been quietly switched off. Panic spread fast, but the tree seemed to enjoy it, its branches creaking softly, its fruit swaying gently, releasing a smell that grew stronger with fear, a scent that made hearts race and thoughts blur. Those who did not eat the fruit still felt its effect because being near it was enough to weaken the mind, enough to make people question their own thoughts, enough to make fear feel logical and violence feel reasonable. People began turning on each other, accusing, shouting, confessing secrets they had buried for years. And the fruit absorbed it all, the tension, the anger, the shame, feeding not on flesh but on the collapse of restraint. Later analysis revealed that the fruit did not change people into something new. It stripped them down to something old, something buried under social rules and fear of consequence, something humans pretend does not exist. Those who survived described a terrifying clarity, a moment where they understood that civilization is thin, paper thin, and the forbidden fruit showed them how easily it tears. Night fell faster than expected, and with darkness came hallucinations, shadows that whispered names, reflections that smiled when their owners did not, memories replaying with twisted endings where every choice led to cruelty. People began hearing instructions, calm and gentle voices explaining how simple it would be to make the noise stop, how easy it would be to feel complete if they just let go. Some tried to resist by hurting themselves, biting their own arms, slamming their heads into trees, anything to stay grounded in pain they could control. But the fruit does not fear pain, it uses it. By morning, the area was silent, too silent, the kind of silence that feels heavy, pressing against the ears. Bodies were found sitting peacefully beneath the tree, faces relaxed, eyes open, as if they had accepted something moments before death. Others were never found at all. When authorities sealed the area, the fruit waited. It always waits. That is its power. It does not chase. It does not force. It waits for curiosity, loneliness, despair. The quiet moments when people feel unseen and unwanted. Years later, similar incidents appeared in different places. Always the same pattern. Always near people under pressure. Prisoners, refugees, isolated communities, places where hope was already thin. Small trees appeared overnight. No seeds, no roots, just growth, as if the earth itself was responding to human emotion. Survivors of later encounters described the same terrifying realization. The forbidden fruit does not create evil. It removes the fear of being evil. The final classified recording comes from a man sent alone to destroy the original tree, chosen because psychological tests showed he had no violent history, no extreme trauma, no known darkness. The recording shows him standing before the fruit, calm, curious, speaking softly as he explains that he understands now that the fruit is not a curse but a mirror, and that humanity called it forbidden because it reveals what people truly are when no one is watching. He reaches out, not shaking, not afraid, and says the most terrifying thing ever recorded near the tree. He says, "Maybe the fruit is not changing us. Maybe it is waking us up." And just before he bites, he looks into the camera and smiles with complete honesty, the smile of someone who has finally stopped pretending. And the feed cuts out as the sound of the tree creaking fills the silence, followed by a whisper that does not belong to any human voice. A whisper that says the fruit was never hidden from humans. Humans were hidden from themselves, and now they are ready.